Hello, folks. Welcome to the next episode of the Andrew Walker Show. Of course, I'm your host, Andrew Walker, and I have two gentlemen today that we're just going to chat with a little bit of their personal lives, their professional lives, whatever else comes up. It's going to be pretty informal. My first guest and the first elected official we've ever had, Mr. Mayor Mike McGuinness. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Good. Very happy to have you on. And then we also have actor, filmmaker, Robert Young. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Very happy you guys could join us on this hot July day. So let's start with Mayor Mike. We have a couple things in common. We both went to OU, both studied political science. You're living it now, and I'm working for the auto industry. How does that happen?
Well, every day, life is politics. Politics is really just people. So
just like Benjamin Franklin said.
So every day you're doing politics. There's the politics of the workroom, the classroom, all of it, family dynamics. It's really it's the study of people and how they organize, mobilize, and make decisions. So
That's right. Did you know at a young age that you wanted to get involved in the public sphere and government?
I didn't know it would take this shape. I'm pumped that it did. I'm really blessed to have a really stimulating, interesting, and meaningful line of work, but I just was really all in on this field of study. It just fascinated me, and there's a few different sort of story arcs in my personal life and my family that led that way, but I would not have predicted that it turned out this way.
Okay. Cool. Robert, local filmmaker, actor. Now, we met for the first time in this room a couple months ago. We were filming that upcoming feature action comedy Sugar Boys, which hopefully will come out in the near future. What made you want to get involved with filmmaking?
Well, I was in front of a camera since I was about 3 years old. My dad had one of those 80s cameras that is plugged in with the VCR, and I just took to that like a fish to water, and I was always performing, and went to Interlochen Arts Camp, and I made some friends there who later on in high school we did a low budget variation of Shaft, and I played Shaft.
Yes.
And, I got into, I liked acting, but then it was like, well, when are we going to get the film done, And then it was like, well, the director was taking forever to edit it. And so I was like, okay, I need to learn how to direct, and I need to learn how to edit. So I kind of went that way in high school, experimented a little bit, and then I was lucky enough to go to Harvard, where they have a film program that actually Damien Giselle and I were close in years.
Yeah, director of La La Land.
La La Land, Whiplash, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's very interesting. Now, back up, you said you went to Interlochen. Was that when Jeffrey Epstein was recruited?
I was going to make the Epstein joke. I thought it was too tasteless.
When he was
his upbringing, he didn't deserve that.
Well, he was recruiting.
Well,
Sorry,
I was so young, and
a lot of his
well, I think he was looking for more girls.
I think there's something named for him up at the school, right? And I just recently read that they had to take his name or tear down the building that he paid for.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with a similar thing with the city of Pontiac.
How similar? Where are we going with this?
So, Oakland Avenue is also known as Cesar Chavez Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
I heard recently that they found out some things about Chavez. Do you guys have any plans of renaming that back to Oakland Avenue?
So, yeah, it's a major thoroughfare that goes from downtown Pontiac out to Waterford and beyond.
Turns into Dixie Highway.
Yeah, once you hit Waterford, it becomes Dixie Highway. Oakland Avenue is the historic name, and there was the Oakland Motor Car Company there at Oakland and Baldwin.
Yes.
Later became the Pontiac Motor Division. In fact, this is the 100th anniversary of that historic milestone.
There's that I think 4-story brick building there.
Yeah, that was the admin building.
That my grandpa told me that he would go there on Fridays to pick up his check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Solidarity. You got the family connection.
Solidarity with Chavez and the unions.
Well, so pivoting to that, in the 1990s, on the east side of the city, East Boulevard was named in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King
That's
Jr.,
right.
so that's MLK Boulevard. And then in that northwest section of the city, we have a very strong, vibrant Hispanic, Mexican-American, Puerto Rican populations.
Marcel.
And so the community wanted, they organized and chose that civil rights activist, farm organizer, and leader in the community, Cesar Chavez. So it's been formally renamed since the 90s.
Yes.
There isn't a formal movement right now to revisit or reconsider, although there were some rumblings of that based on the new revelations that previously, to my knowledge, were not known. They were never known to me. So
Yeah, I had never heard of either.
Yeah.
And I had studied him a little bit, taking poli-sci classes and learning about the union movement in this country. But
yeah, but what's in a name is powerful. I mean, it's signaling
yes,
who matters, where the values are, et cetera. And so even if he's not the individual name, we want to make sure, just like we already have in other ways, we've opened a new skate park, grant funded from the Tony Hawk Foundation and others.
Nice.
New skate park in the middle of town at Montcalm and Glenwood at Oakland Park. And we've named it Roberto Duran Rodriguez, a community member who has since passed away, but was very active in the skating community, lived in that GM modern housing neighborhood.
Okay.
But there's power in names, and also a signal that we want to say about who's included, who's part of the fabric of the community. So
Sure.
even if that dude ain't the one that gets the honor anymore, we want to, in ways large and small, include and celebrate our strong Latin heritage.
Sure. Now, you mentioned MLK Boulevard was renamed from East Boulevard. East Boulevard, right? Tell me about your MLK connection. Not a personal connection, but an upcoming project.
Well, upcoming project, yes. I have been spending the better part of a decade working on a musical about a point in history which is not very well known, although it was around the time of the 1960 presidential election, Kennedy versus Nixon. And
That
Martin
was the
Luther
first televised
Yes.
debate. Yeah.
Yes. And actually, Nixon was seen as the loser of that debate because of the temperature, and he didn't do the makeup correctly.
Yeah, a lot of flop sweat.
Flop sweat, yeah, the 5 o'clock shadow. And Kennedy was tan, rested, and ready, and he looked like a young, vigorous leader.
And he knew that he was going to see Marilyn Monroe later on that night. So,
So, yes, he was very, very ready to lead. And anyway, Martin Luther King was arrested, and he was going to be sent to a chain gang in Reidsville, Georgia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There was a judge who really had it in for him, and he appealed to both Nixon and Kennedy. And Nixon, ironically, had been a stronger civil rights senator and vice president. He ran on that. He was trying to pressure Eisenhower to be more forceful with that.
Sure.
But when push came to shove, Nixon thought it would be grandstanding if the vice president intervened, and then Kennedy kind of scooped up the football, and I believe Sergeant Shriver, his brother-in-law, really was he was really instrumental in making sure that he called Coretta Scott King, his wife, and made sure that they put out the campaign literature, the candidate, no comment Nixon versus candidate with the heart Kennedy. And they really rewrote the black vote. I mean, Nixon still got about 32% of the black vote that year. That's better than Republicans have been getting since. But Kennedy was the one who kind of switched the pendulum, and of course Johnson.
Sure.
And
with the civil rights.
The
Voters' Right Act.
Right.
All that stuff.
But my look is, what if Nixon had intervened, or if he had at least tried to intervene, but history and the time-space continuum kind of conspires against him. But they're stuck in a prison, and they're debating. They're talking about women. They're talking about alcohol. They're talking about politics and, the moon, the politics of going to the moon versus civil rights. And,
Sure.
Kennedy kind of shows up as a specter, it's like, well, we're not going to rescue you. We're going to go to the moon, and you're not the race of people that, is going to be the ones going forward. So, I mean, it's playing fast and loose with history, but it's an interesting story, and I composed the music and
Nice.
the libretto, and
And they're going to be singing. How many songs do you have about?
16.
16 songs?
Yeah.
Whoa. Mike, you want to try out for the movie?
I am playing Richard Nixon, and I am not playing Dr. King.
You want to play
Nor
Kennedy?
Coretta. What?
You want to play Kennedy?
You have to
I
shave
mean,
your beard.
If I have to.
Hey, what about a sequel, Nixon and Elvis Presley? Because those,
Well, they already did that movie.
Oh, that's right.
They
Michael
did that
Shannon was in it.
Shannon
Yeah.
and Kevin Spacey. Yeah.
yeah.
Martin Luther King and Donald Trump. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Mayor, everyone knows that with the reorganization of the auto industry in the metro area the last, 50 years, cities like Detroit, Flint, and Pontiac, they've had some decline in some areas and losing population. But as far as I know, the first time that Pontiac has gained population from census to census was 2010 to 2020, I believe. What would you contribute that population increase from after 45, 50 years of decline?
Well, I think one of it is stabilization. The bottom did fall out of Pontiac. We had 33,000 GM jobs in our city, and now we have about 900. So
Yeah.
it just shows the scale and the vastness of how steep the drop was. So that has stabilized. Our economy has been able to be diversified. But one of the factors is that we have a strong and growing immigrant population.
That's
current-
what I was going to say.
Yeah, the current federal policies undermine that, destabilize that, so
Yeah.
I don't know how it'll shake out. But long term, it's been a very positive force for our neighborhoods when we have Latin families stabilizing homes that were vacant, repairing, rebuilding, and then continuing that same cycle that Pontiac and other urban centers have had, where we are a place of economic opportunity, where families both from other parts of the country, other parts of the state, and other parts of the world, aspire to, move to, and flourish. That's been an amazing part of the American story, but the Pontiac story too.
Yes.
We've had, over 100 years ago after World War I, Eastern European families came to Pontiac, Detroit, Hamtramck, Flint, Saginaw. It's just a beautiful part of the Michigan story,
Right.
including the Great Migration from the Deep South. So it's like the new chapter, the new era of that, but we also are seeing a lot of excitement, growth, improvement in the neighborhoods, in the downtown, the corridors. We got a lot of work to do, but it's a lot of fun to help shepherd and nurture the good stuff.
That's very well said. And I would just say, for one big example of that is my old stomping grounds, the Baldwin corridor between like Walton and Montcalm, that roughly a mile or whatever, mile and a half. There are a lot of Hispanic businesses and restaurants and food trucks there, and it looks nicer now than it did when I was a kid, like in the late 80s. So that's what I thought. It's definitely the Hispanic population has been helping revitalize at least certain parts of the city. What can you talk about a little bit for like new businesses coming in? Because like you said, tens of thousands of GM jobs have disappeared. But after they tore down the Silverdome, they built one or two Amazon warehouses there too, and each of those probably employ 1,000 people at least.
So Amazon there, they have both a distribution and a fulfillment center, and they have drone deliveries that launch off.
I see them driving up and down 75. I see them all the time.
And just like we have been for hundreds of years, Pontiac's, helping chart a new course with transportation, with logistics. It's part of our story, our history. But It was the Silverdome for decades. It was iconic. I had the mayor of Oklahoma City telling me last week, "Hey, I watched WrestleMania 3."
I saw that video.
Yeah, it's like the way in which the Silverdome, Elvis played there.
Yes.
You know, like there's all these interesting elements of pop culture and social history where the Silverdome was iconic. Now it's got a new lease on life. The site is, and it's about 3,000 to 4,000 jobs, depending on the cycle. With that, our biggest employer in the city now wasn't even in the city a decade ago, and that's United Wholesale Mortgage.
Yeah, on South Boulevard.
Yep. Yeah. So former GM sites that they've transformed. It's the nation's largest wholesale mortgage lender. They have the former Ultimate Soccer Arenas. It's now the UWM Sports Complex, the largest indoor sport court in North America.
Oh, wow.
That bridge across, that pedestrian bridge over South Boulevard is the largest and longest in North America.
Whoa.
It's a beautiful place. I just had a meeting there this week with their leadership team. But all these former factory sites or sort of dormant spaces, we now have AUK Construction in downtown Pontiac. We've got M1 Concourse at a former GM plant site.
I saw that they're
Woodward and South
adding
Boulevard, and expanding.
Expanding, and it's been there a couple years now, and I know it's super popular during the Dream Cruise. But yeah, that was very exciting when I read that they were building that there, and yeah.
And we got two new giant wins. We have already secured the new headquarters for Williams International.
I was just going to bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're expanding a substantial investment of almost $200 million for a research and development expansion there. And they make jet engines, big in the aerospace industry, the biggest in the state, most likely. And then Fanuc Robotics, which has already been in our area for decades.
Yeah.
They're building their largest facility yet in Pontiac at the former truck and bus plant on Opdyke.
Opdyke, just like between
south of Williams International.
Between Square Lake and South Boulevard, right?
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
It's going to be big, yeah. Almost 900,000 square feet, and it may be one of the biggest robotics facilities in the country, and it'll be right in Pontiac. So those are some very recent wins, building off of that decade plus of just momentum.
Because I know Fanuc has had this facility in Rochester Hills for a while. Then I saw they built one at Featherstone in 75, right there on the highway.
Now they have two Auburn Hills facilities, and then we're still going to be the biggest. So it just speaks to how robotics is so big in automation and manufacturing.
And that's huge, especially for a city like Pontiac, who they have the employee income tax, which helps fund schools, I believe.
Not schools, but it is our biggest part of our city revenue. So it matters a lot in terms of infrastructure, of services, of quality of life, and it increases the diversification of our revenue streams when 10, 15 years ago our city was on the ropes financially.
Yes.
Because GM was 90% of our tax base.
Yep.
Them and the jobs and their feeder suppliers.
Wow.
So it's a big game changer.
Now let's talk about that Williams International, and we can connect the film industry with that because talk about
there's even a Batman connection.
Yeah, there's a Batman connection. Now talk about the building that they're moving into. That used to be, what was it called, Raleigh?
Yeah, so for a minute it was called the Michigan Motion Picture Studios and then Riley Studios.
Yes.
So there was a hot minute when Michigan, the stars aligned. Governor Granholm had the film tax credits, and it really led to just a real burst of activity, and you'll be able to tell us more about that firsthand.
Yeah.
But in Pontiac, we had Batman vs. Superman filmed there, Oz the Great and Powerful, Black Sky, Red Dawn. And so not just in that film studio there, in that former GM site that was redeveloped, in a way to try and diversify not only Pontiac's economy, but Michigan's economy. And so when they yanked those film credits, that yanked that studio's viability. But there's a fun little moment in time when there's all these scenes filmed in Pontiac and surrounding areas in these movies of that like 2009 to 2011 or 12 era.
So for Batman and Superman, there was a scene where it shows the Wayne family crypt. That was filmed right across the street at Orion Oaks County Park.
Oh, whoa!
Yep.
I love local history. That's
cool. So, Robert, you were involved in the local film industry back then, correct?
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I was in a way. I did the there were. I wasn't really involved in sort of like the bigger films. I was doing more independent work.
You could say you were an adult film star.
Yeah. Okay. I worked with some very talented people, Mike Einhauser, Connie Mangelin, and Nancy Null Derringer. We did a couple of films for the 48-hour film contests.
And that's coming up this year's. My buddy George Ansara, he's in charge of that. He's been on the show before too.
I was kind of in and out at that time because I was in grad school in 2008 and 2009 in California, and then I went back to California after kind of puttering around a little bit. But yeah, it was an exciting time. It's sad that the incentives were, done away with, and I know there is talk about possibly reinvigorating it.
And I know in the last session of the Michigan legislature, they had a vote on it, but for whatever reason, it didn't pass. It seems like that would be a no-brainer. Like, every representative should realize the value of reintroducing those things, Democrat or Republican. I still, to this day, I can't understand why it wasn't passed. But hopefully it'll come up again. Mayor Mike, do you have any, or I should say, can we create a department within Pontiac just to bring the movies back, just to Pontiac, not anywhere else?
Well, we don't have the state or federal taxation, magic wand, but we want to be able to be a destination in a lot of different ways. For tourism, which you might not think of with Pontiac, but with our automotive heritage, we have a new museum in town, the Pontiac Transportation Museum.
Yeah, I need to go to
hosted a car convention for the 100th anniversary. Super successful, and it generated millions of dollars of economic benefit for Pontiac, but also our surrounding areas, because they're not just eating and touring and visiting historic sites in Pontiac. They're doing that in the vicinity. So we want to build off of tourism, filming, and really just being on people's radar. Part of the challenge with Pontiac is that we were left out of the conversation, or we were overlooked, for better and for worse. Sometimes flying under the radar works to one's advantage, but when we're trying to attract investment and visitors and expendable dollars, we want to be a part of the mix.
With that being said, I believe roughly 500 county employees are moving from some of the offices on Telegraph to downtown. Is that correct?
That's actually a conservative estimate. So Pontiac's been the Oakland County seat for over 200 years. We were the first big city outside of Detroit, and obviously now we're just part of the whole constellation of Oakland County's growth. But we're still the county seat, and for the last 60 plus years, their offices have been on the outskirts at the Pontiac-Waterford border on Telegraph Road. And the county executive and the county commission, their leadership is doing something bold and really exciting. They are returning back to downtown Pontiac for part of their county operations. So they've taken an old GM building. We used to have two divisions of General Motors headquarters in our city, the Pontiac division, but also GMC, the GM truck and bus. So when those two towers were in downtown Pontiac for a few decades, with the Phoenix Center as the parking structure and public space, a lot of activity, a lot of, literally, just a lot of action. When GM bought the Renaissance Center, moved a lot of white-collar employees downtown Detroit, we had empty buildings, a big hole, literally and figuratively.
And now look at the Renaissance Center.
Yeah.
It's going to be empty because they're moving to that new
and it's
Hudson building.
And it's such an iconic site. So it's surreal. And it's 1977, I think, is when they opened that. So the building that we're talking about, they were built and opened in 1980.
Yeah, just a couple years later.
Not that ancient, but it's just the cyclical nature and sometimes the disposable nature. But Oakland County has acquired and is renovating that tower. The Phoenix Center is down. The local roadways will be reconnected after 45 years. and it'll be at least 700 employees.
Wow.
And not to mention people that are visiting it, people that have to conduct business. It's going to be a giant shot in the arm, and it's very visible. It's right smack dab, not just in the center of Pontiac, but all of Oakland County, and it's a literal signal and a beacon about how things are moving.
Right, and I seen they've completely torn down the facade of the building down to its bones and putting up glass.
Glass exterior, it's very beautiful.
It's going to be very, very nice. Now, with the influx of 700 employees, please tell me they're going to do something with that huge empty parking lot at Saginaw and Pike Street where the Clinton River goes underneath. There's so much potential there, Mike.
It is privately owned. There's tons of potential.
It is privately owned.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
The city owned it, but was sold off when we were in emergency financial management by the state.
Okay.
Sold to private owners. And it's hard because it's very strategic, it's very large, and it can help support a lot of the surrounding businesses when we as the city owned it, and it served as very affordable parking. But immediately next to it, under where part of the Phoenix Center was, we're building a downtown central park, a 2-acre park.
Nice.
There'll be 2 new parking structures that aren't blocking streets, but at a corner of what you would think is that lot was the Phoenix Center. Their target is to build a hotel or hospitality-related business in the next phase of development.
There's no hotel down there, or at least no legal hotels. There might be some undercover hotels, I don't know. But that would
comment. None that are on my radar.
And it would be very nice to have a hotel down there, maybe some more housing, condos or apartments.
Yeah, we want more density. I mean, we've got the space, we've got the land, and what a thriving urban environment, urban neighborhood needs is people.
Yes.
And so that means you need more residents, more shops, more restaurants, just more activity and life. And that's what we already have been gaining in the last few years. Mm-hmm. The tallest building downtown is being renovated. It was a former bank building and offices.
Yep.
It's now being converted to 114 loft apartments.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's
very
beautiful, and we just want more of that. Saving what's historic, building where there's empty land with new, and building a really nice urban fabric that is a destination, but also a great place to call home.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's so shocking and interesting to me that my dad will tell me stories of how he used to go downtown when he was a kid, and there were a couple different department stores where he would buy Beatles albums, and I'm like, downtowns don't really have department stores anymore.
Yeah, before shopping malls, before strip malls, of course before Amazon, we had Sears, JCPenney's, Federal's department store, Waite's department store, Kresge's. Then there was like smaller local ones too, not to mention the wig shop, the record store, the men's clothing store, the women's clothing store, the shoe store. 70% of Oakland County came to downtown Pontiac to do their shopping. And there were a boatload of people that lived in Pontiac. So there was just it was dense, and it was before freeways.
Yep.
So put basically the foot traffic of a shopping mall in its heyday and a freeway right on it. It was actually pretty intense from everything I've read, because before freeways, people would take Woodward and Saginaw Street right up through Pontiac to get anywhere outside of Metro Detroit, which is wild.
Yep. Woodward was the main street of the metro area. It still kind of is if you don't count, the freeways. But now let's talk about something kind of fun. I'm a huge movie fan. I know Robert is. Are you a big movie guy?
Yeah,
Mike?
I'm pro movie.
Yeah.
I'm pro fun.
Okay.
I'm with it.
We always like to talk about movies on the show. Robert, what are your top 3 movies of the last couple years?
Oh, the last couple of years.
Yeah, just more recent years.
I liked Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic.
It made a lot of money.
Yeah, it made a lot of money. Wasn't some of it was a little bit glossed over, but I think they're going to make a sequel for that. And
Michael Jackson, The Dark Side.
The Dark Side,
See,
or the light side.
That works in more than one way.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Superman movie with Corn Sweat.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot less dark than Snyder's stuff.
Not a big Zack Snyder fan, even though I know he did film the aforementioned Batman vs Superman here, but not. I hate his visuals. I don't know. They're kind of
they're gloomy
Yeah.
and too ponderous, I would
Right.
say. Let's see. What is the
Any horror movies? I'm a big horror.
No, I'm not a horror nut. No.
Because if you watch something, you'd have to sleep with the lights on, huh?
Yeah.
Mike, what about you? What are some favorite movies the last couple years?
It's hard. I keep wanting to go back decades. I am a big horror fan,
Yes.
and there's been a lot of good horror.
We are in a golden age of horror, like in the late 70s, early 80s, in my opinion. Did you
So-
see Obsession?
I have seen Obsession. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but no, I've seen almost every big horror movie that's come out. You know, it's so surreal. Back in our day, you know, you like have to watch it in the movies and then wait a very long time.
Yeah.
And now the whole lines are blurred where I'm like, damn, I just paid to go see this in the movie and it's like on streaming of one of the whack-a-mole streaming stuff. So
Yeah.
it is taking out a lot of the fun, you know, and the suspense, literal suspense of like, you got to see something worth seeing or then you got to wait forever. So, yeah, I mean, there's usually horror movies playing, a few horror movies a day in my house on background. So sometimes only catching portions of it and all that stuff. So maybe I shouldn't admit to that.
The
but it's true.
RNC.
Clever. No.
Yeah, he just
So
has,
that's too scary. It's too real. I can't watch.
he has
I can't watch what's happening in the federal government.
he has C-SPAN on 24/7. What about Backrooms? Did you see that?
I did.
I saw that too.
It was unnerving in the sense of like, what would you do in that scenario? But
I've had a
this stage is a little backroomsy.
Yes,
This is,
yes.
this is like if you open that door, then it just keeps these little liminal spaces.
true
just keep
liminal
going.
space.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of dreams / nightmares that are like that, like they just keep going on and on and on. And
Tell the artichoke all
weird-
that's on your mind.
he's the only one that understands me. But no,
Why's it got to be he?
it is the only thing that understands me.
Okay, carry on.
But no, that weird yellowish tone of those rooms and back rooms. I've had a lot of dreams like that, especially when I was younger. Like when I would be sick or have a fever, I would just have these weird dreams like that, and I would try to wake up from them, and I'd fall back asleep, and the same dream would keep going on.
What's your favorite movie of all time, though?
Ooh, probably Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's for sure.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
All right.
For sure, my favorite comedy is that. Maybe Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, big Star Wars fan.
Last Tango in Paris.
Oh, I've never seen that. That's what Marlon Brando.
Brando, yeah.
Your favorite Mike of all time?
Again, I shouldn't be telling on myself, but it's The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh.
Just a psychological thriller that was just so well done, and it's dated, you know, early 90s, but still when I watch it, it's still very riveting.
Sure. So I'm going to ask you just one trivia question about the city of Pontiac. What did the Clinton River used to be called before it was called the Clinton River?
You fool! Did you not research that I did a lecture on this very topic? It was the Nottawassippi, which is the Anishinaabe word for like rattlesnakes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes, I did a whole lecture a few years ago.
Now I look like the fool.
No, because part of the Clinton River, formerly known as Nottawassippi, is buried underground in downtown Pontiac, and it blows people's minds, and they're like, why?
Yeah.
How? What's going to happen to that? So I did a whole lecture at the Crowfoot, full room. It was a really cool experience to let people know about the history of like, why did they do it? They had legitimate reasons of, it was basically like an infrastructure project, but it's fascinating history. But just so you know, I was executive director of Oakland County's Historical Society for 6 years.
Wow.
So usually the things that you're reading, I probably wrote it. So you're going to stump me on my own. You're going to stump me on my own factoids.
I got to come better prepared next time. But no, that is really cool. I love history of anything, but especially local history, and yeah, that's very cool. And also, I got to visit that Pontiac Transportation Museum.
I highly recommend it.
I've seen some pictures. Is it off of Orchard Lake?
Very close
just-
to that.
just
The
west-
address is 250 West Pike. It
West
used to
Pike.
be an elementary school, so it was like
Okay.
empty for a long time. And the gentleman who purchased the elementary school has had a vast collection already and owns a few properties in Pontiac. So he donated it and donated the land to the couple that already had a museum in Pontiac, Illinois, for the Pontiac car brand. They tried to open it here, but the city was not in a position. It was during the recession.
Yeah, it wasn't
so they
time
went
for it.
to greener pastures, but now they've opened something that's 5 times larger. And I highly recommend it. Pontiac Transportation Museum on social media and Facebook, on their website. But it's a beautiful space, and they're still growing and evolving.
Have you ever thought about calling the mayor of Pontiac, Illinois, and asking him to do like a wrestling contest to see who's the stronger mayor? I think that would be pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if it's a man,
I
so
should
don't
assume.
presuppose. But again, I have great confidence as a person who has a strong self-esteem. I have great confidence that I'd be able to handle and take any other mayor, male, female, or otherwise.
What if the mayor was Jason Momoa? Would you be able to beat him in wrestling?
No, but fun fact, Jason Momoa does own property in Pontiac, Michigan, right across from M1 Concourse, it was like the Planet Rock indoor rock climbing facility, and before that it was the powerhouse for Rapid Motor
That's right.
Company.
That's
and
right.
So, when he was filming as Aquaman in
go.
Pontiac, that's when we got on his radar and he bought that property.
Now, on the other side of Woodward from there, there's still a very old brick building. What did that used to be? It was a car place, right?
So for decades, it was the warehouse and storage for Sears and Roebuck. But before that, it was originally built as the standard vehicle company. So Pontiac, Flint were some of the nation's biggest producers of carriages. Before the engine came along, anything that was drawn by horses, wagons, sleds, sleighs, buggies, it was made in Pontiac and Flint, and a lot in Massachusetts too. But so it was a big early industry. That was an early carriage maker.
Nice. So let's play the game called Would You Rather.
Okay.
I think you guys know how this goes. I'm going to ask you 2 different things. You got to pick one of the answers, and you got to justify it. So let's start with Robert Young. Would you rather lose your mind or lose your significant other?
Well, I'm single, so I guess I'd rather lose my mind.
What if you were dating the chick I was just talking about, even though you don't know who she is, but she was the love of your life and you were dating for 7 years? Hypothetically, what would you pick?
Well, I would hope that she would take care of me when I had dementia, and I'd
She
lose
would.
my mind.
She would.
So I'd lose my mind, and then she would take care of me.
All right. Great answer. Mayor Mike, would you rather make a salad every 10 minutes for 3 months straight, or be the most scared you could ever be for 1 month? Hey, I don't write these questions.
I'll choose salad, for that is annoying. That's an annoying consumption of time, but
You wouldn't be able to sleep.
well,
Every 10 minutes, you'd have to make a
I
salad.
get 9 minutes of a salad nap, I guess.
That's true, yeah. Save the other minute. Yeah.
But I mean, if you were just saying like the most scared in a day, maybe, but like a month, that would make me lose my mind probably.
That
It
would-
be
Yeah.
some mental break.
that would stress you out.
Yeah.
Now, since you are single, here's a good one for you, Robert. Would you rather get $1 million or find true love?
I think if I had the $1 million, I'd find true love soon after.
The ladies would just come running. Mayor Mike, would you rather get a paper cut on your hand once a week or have one foot fall asleep every 3rd hour for 30 minutes? So every 3 hours, your foot would fall asleep for a half hour. These are terrible questions. I'm sorry, folks.
I don't know what to say to that. I guess it depends on how deep of a laceration or cut from the said paper, but I'll go paper cut.
It would be really annoying because it would be like right between the fingers, you know?
What kind of program is this?
I know.
Is this my 1 month of fear? Is
Yes,
this what it is?
it is.
Just constantly being subjected to absurd questions?
Robert, would you rather go 1 year without any teeth or 1 year without the internet?
I guess I'm going to be gumming my food because I need the internet. So I go without teeth.
What's your favorite website or app? IMDb?
No, Instagram. I'm addicted to that.
Instagram is fun. I like it quite a bit better than Facebook. I know they're owned by the same company, but too much political garbage on Facebook, at least that I come across. Yeah, I like Instagram.
Well, you know, you just scroll and, you know, try to be zen about it, I guess.
So go 1 year without your teeth. All right. Mayor Mike, would you rather use a touch screen on all your devices or use a mouse and keyboard on all your devices? Like, I guess you would hook up a mouse and keyboard to your phone. And like I said, I do not write these
I'm going to say
questions.
mouse and keyboard because in my older age, I am much more lax with texting. Like, I used to be in a very effective texter. I don't know if but I'm a very fast typer and a very, precise typer. So I'll say typing. As weird as that sounds.
We'll ask Mayor Mike this. Would you rather meet Chuck Norris, rest in peace?
He's dead.
But rest in peace. Or
Sorry to break the news to you if this is how you're learning this.
Or meet the Old Spice Man.
Oh, like the new Old Spice Man? He is very attractive, so I will go with Old Spice Man. And he's alive, added bonus.
What if it was Chuck Norris in like the 70s?
I don't care about him.
Oh, okay.
I did. My late grandmother, I love you. She watched a lot of Walker, Texas Ranger.
That's my nickname.
Nope. Oh, okay, that
No,
makes sense. That tracks. Oh, okay, self-appointed.
Yes.
Self-applied. But, when you don't have cable in the 90s, I watched a lot of Highlander, a lot of Walker, Texas Ranger, a lot of Star Trek. What Channel 20 was rocking, Channel
50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have cable either growing up, so it was either one of the 3 network channels or whatever garbage was playing on 20 or 50. Not garbage, but weird, just weird stuff. A lot of weird. Do you ever see that movie They Live from the 80s with Roddy Piper? It's a John Carpenter movie. I watched that on Channel 50 when I was like 10. It scared the crap out of me.
And it set a lot of life choices in motion for you.
It did. It made me realize anytime I put on sunglasses, I can see who the aliens are. Yeah, and see what the propaganda out there for what it really is.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last question. Then we'll wrap up. Mr. Robert, would you rather see the future or be able to change the past? Now that's actually a really good question.
There's been a lot of movies about how that goes sideways.
Yeah, Back to the Future, Avengers Endgame. They go back in time to change the snap. You see that, Avengers?
I mean, I think it's all paradoxical. I would just go back and change the past because then it would become the future, and then it's big.
Yourself busy,
Yeah,
stimulated.
yeah.
What would you change?
I'd invest in a couple different companies.
Buy a bunch of Microsoft stock and sell it in like 2000, right before the internet bubble burst, and make so much money.
Yeah, and I would out Elon.
Yeah.
So I
You would be the first trillionaire.
Yeah, well, yeah, after Mansa Musa, right?
All right, so we're getting towards the end of the show, gentlemen. I wanted to thank you for being on. Do you guys have anything that you would like to promote? I know, obviously, you're Mr. Pontiac, and you promote everything on Facebook, which I wanted to congratulate you on and thank you for it, because a city like Pontiac, it's had its challenges, but you're a true champion of the city, I can tell. You have a true love for it. You were always on Facebook telling people things to look out for, like, hey, there's lights out in this area, or there's a police action in this area, avoid the area. But you're also highlighting all the good things when businesses open and everything. So I just wanted to thank you for that, as being a Pontiac boy myself. But yeah, anything you'd like to promote, either of you?
Yeah, I'd like to promote Nixon King. We are on Instagram at my name, RPYOUNGIII, and also Nixon King 2025. It's kind of an ongoing thing. I haven't updated that yet, but it's still there. And on Facebook, it's Nixon King 1960s, the year that it's set. And if you go on GoFundMe and you look up Nixon King, you will be able to find the GoFundMe, which will help us to raise funds for the feature film that we're doing.
Do you have a tentative date of when you're going to start actual production?
Well, we're filming a trailer in a couple weeks for promotion, and then we will probably be shooting the feature sometime in the fall.
Nice.
Yeah.
As long as that money comes in.
Yeah.
I know I'm helping fundraise for the movie I'm the first assistant director on. We're about 80% full or filmed already. But we're trying to get the last $20-something thousand. We're going to get Danny Trejo on. I'm sure you know who he is, a character actor from Los Angeles. And we're hoping to have that funded and filming the rest of it in the fall also. Yeah. It's not easy raising that money, but it's important. Mayor Mike, what would you like to promote, sir?
You can find me on Instagram at Mike McGuinness, Pontiac, Twitter at Mike McG, Pontiac, Facebook as Mike McGuinness, and through all those platforms, I like to just amplify and share as you shared. Thank you for the kind words about all the great stuff happening in Pontiac and all the forward movement that we're trying to make every day in ways large and small. So, boys and girls at home, my friendly advice to you, don't sleep on Pontiac, Michigan. We are on the move, and we've had our challenges in the past, but we're a strong, historic, diverse, and dynamic city, and I'm excited for all of you to come visit, shop, celebrate, grow with us, invest in us, and have fun with us.
Yes, thank you, Mike. And folks, that's it for this episode of the Andrew Walker Show. Once again, I'd like to thank my guests Mike McGuinness and Robert Young. And you have any questions or comments directed towards them, not me. Unless they're positive, then you can direct them towards me. But once again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.